Louise, you just heard a rational kind of, sort of, inflation this and interest here and money out of nothing and People's Bank. I'd like to hear your interpretation of Ubuntu, and why did you get involved, and what's your feeling? I mean, you as it stands right now, you are poised to possibly become what would you call get a seat in Parliament. Just tell me, what's your whole approach to this? What's your attitude?
Well, Scotty, I have a different take. I think I'm not very clued up on banking. I think we have three very capable men here that can handle all that. My sense of Ubuntu and my interest comes more into that place of where were we before the settlers arrived? There were people living here in Africa that were totally fine, living in abundance, in harmony with nature. We complicate life. We've brought upon ourselves this situation, and it was never necessary before. It's an enforced slavery that comes from this Western civilization and the banking thing. My interest lies more in community and what happened, how people lived, how they interacted, what their lifestyles were like before we had to worry about earning a living. Because there were people here in Africa that were just being, they were just living beautiful lives.
Now, interesting you say that, Louise, because up until a few years ago, before I started, really researching community, what you're talking about now, and sustainable and eco communities, and also, being blessed to work with some extremely knowledgeable and researched people and well-traveled people in the space, is that there's a stigma to what you just said. I mean, there's a stigma to the ancient Africans, the old African tribal people, the Bushmen, etc. And that stigma is they were consistently fighting for food, consistently looking for water. It's as if they're trudging through the desert and they're hot and they're tired and they don't seem to sleep and they don't know where their next meal is going to come from. But actually, if you look and you speak to people who have researched this before, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this, is that wasn't the case at all. Bushmen and tribal people used to work a couple of hours a day at most. The rest was storytelling, it was adventuring, it was working with children, it was teaching, it was studying the stars, it was philosophizing. Tell me about your opinion on that. And how does this relate to the Ubuntu philosophy?
Well, I'm suspicious. I mean, whose story was that we were living and fighting and suffering before the white man arrived? Whose story is that? As you were saying, people have lived in communities forever and never needed a currency to survive. People, it's our innate goodwill and our connection with the earth that makes it so easy to get along and make beautiful lives together for ourselves and to be able to spend time philosophizing and learning about astrology, being connected to the cycles of nature, because all of those things feed who we are. They feed our ability to be able to exist here. And I think, very often we forget that we're living on a planet, a natural planet that sustains us. And money doesn't sustain us. This planet sustains us. And my focus
I love that
always tries to bring us back to remembering that we need to go back to that way of being. And I believe it's not that far-fetched. It's innate. It's within all of us to be able to live and be in a beautiful surrounding with one another, free from all necessity to work, and just do what we love and be who we are, because that's who we are. That as human beings, that's our reason for being.
So who's going to shovel the crap then? And what about the people that won 50 Ferraris?
I know, Michael and I have an ongoing debate. But, my answer, and we're always looking to government to solve the problems or whatever. What is the plan? But we never consider the fact that with freedom comes responsibility. And, if we want to liberate ourselves, let's liberate ourselves. Let's turn our focus away from the slavery and let's make a plan. let's all get together and put our energy and our time and our resources into creating beautiful lives for ourselves. We have to take responsibility. We can't expect anybody to do this for us. Each and every single person needs to take responsibility for themselves and their greater community. And that's the only way Ubuntu is going to work. Ubuntu needs people working together with a similar philosophy or the same philosophy to bring about change.
Louise, tell me, how are you living now? I mean, again, anybody can write about this. Anyone can talk about it. But what are you physically doing on a day-to-day basis that makes this real?
Well, I spend all my time at the Stone Circle Ubuntu Village, which is our little place where we hope to implement the philosophy of contributionism. And what we'd like to do there is to bring people that share the philosophy and invite them to come and contribute their skills, their gifts, what they want to do for the greater good of our little community here, and start proving to ourselves and to others that we really don't need a currency to survive or to exist. You know, we have everything available to us in terms of what we can offer each other then ourselves.
So I agree, and it's decentralized communities, beautiful concept, and I know it's a strong part of the Ubuntu philosophy, and it's really powerful.